What's up, everybody? Aaron J. Moss here with another lesson. You guessed it, this one's going to be on the whammy bar. And check out this shirt. Is this not awesome? Got this for my birthday. Alright, so let's get started. Nobody asked me for this lesson. This is just something I thought I'd throw out here. Haven't made a lesson video in a couple weeks, maybe more, I don't know. And wanted to throw this out because I think whammy bar lessons, I've watched tons of them, and they always kind of, I don't know, there's a lot that some explain, and other ones don't explain this, and then they explain this, and a lot of you are probably going, why do we want to see a whammy bar lesson? That's like a lesson on how to turn up the volume on your guitar. Well, for a lot of young guitarists, the whammy bar can be really confusing. I know it was for me. At first I was like, okay, what do I do? I mean, at first I didn't even know how to use it. It's really embarrassing, but I did not know that you took it and you went, wah, just like that. I didn't know that. And it took me a while to figure that out, and I just kind of did it by accident one day. I thought you just went like this, back and forth, and it would do it. Shows what a, novice I was. But as I've said before, I knew nothing about guitar playing. I hadn't even really seen people play guitar, so I didn't know what to do. But after I got the hang of it, then of course I went crazy with it and started like everybody does. Then I kind of got bored with it because I thought, well, every time I do it, it sounds exactly the same. And long story short, I finally kind of got bummed out with it, and I didn't use it for a while. And it just got to the point where I was like, I really want to learn how to do this, because a lot of my favorite guitar players use the whammy bar, and I love the way it sounds when they do it, but I just can't seem to do that. So I finally started really just taking a step back, going, okay, what does the whammy bar do? The whammy bar, when you play a note, it takes that note and it lowers the pitch down, like when you detune your strings. And then when you raise it back up, the note goes back up to where it was, if your stuff is all set up right. So once I got that into my head, I went, okay, so that's what it does. Another version you can do is a back bend, where it goes up and then back down to where it was. Now, back bends, be very careful with them, especially if you don't have the money to buy new strings every time you turn around. Because I know there's the sweet spot, as a lot of people call it, where you can push all the way to that point and they will not break. But you push just past that point, just a little itty-bitty push, and the strings break. At least one or two will. And I don't have the money to just buy strings every time I turn around. So I try to make mine last as much as possible. So I do practice back bends a lot. I do use them a lot, especially if I'm playing live somewhere. I'll be like, all that. But typically, just in my normal practices, I limit the practice of back bends down a lot. And if I'm going to use them, usually, a little helpful trick here, if you're not playing an E standard, play like an D standard or something like that, you can get a lot more out of your back bends that way than if you're playing an E standard, And you definitely don't want to be playing with these if you're in a higher tuning, like F standard or G standard. I know a lot of you are like, what? Why would somebody tune to that? But a lot of people I've seen to do. And because the tension of the string is so much by that point that too much will just, it snaps. Anyway, so basically, if I'm going to be using a lot of back bends, I tune my guitar down to, as I said, E flat, D standard, or even D flat standard. I've even gone down to C, and by that point the strings feel like such a light gauge. It's just like, I call them spaghetti strings, because it's just like you're playing nothing, and it sounds really cool, but it's not good for everything. Anyway, getting back on topic here. Basically, what you want to do is, the whammy bar is a very useful tool, and there are many, many different techniques to using it. Everybody uses them differently, okay? And because of that, you can basically feel free to come up with your own style of using it. So don't feel restricted to just do what I'm telling you to do. These are just some tips and tricks I've learned that work really good. First off, when you're using your whammy bar, it is crucial to play in time with the music. So if you're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because you're playing out of time, it's going to sound really bad. It's going to all clash. So it's like, you can do all your normal, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, triplet, 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 triplet. Any normal counting measure you can do with your whammy bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. It all just depends how you use it. You can use triplet, 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 triplet. So when you do this, immediately write that. That one little trick will make your whammy bar stuff sound amazing with music. If you're playing the right way and the right notes, it'll just blend perfectly. The next thing you can do is, that's going down and up for each count. Okay, that's 1E. So that's down and back up. Another thing you can do is do this. Which is, you count, and it's basically like 1, 2, 3, 4. You could do that. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do all kinds of combinations with it. And what this is doing is, you're changing the notes. So basically you're playing, you're doing it with the whammy bar. Exact same thing, but when you're doing it with the whammy bar, people are like, "Whoa, dude, how did you do that? You're like playing the riff, but you're not playing it. How are you doing that?" I've had people do that. It's really cool. It freaks people out all the time. So what you're going to do there is, this is where your ears crucially come in. You want to train your ears to the note. So you play, and then you find that note with your whammy bar. So you play the E right there. Doesn't have to be an E, it can be any note. But we're just going to do a full step down. So right there, that's a full step down. Now every note is different everywhere. Okay, it's going to be, if you're playing it here, it's going to be different. If you're playing up here, it's going to be different. So it's really crucial that you find what you're doing, where you're doing it, and how you're doing it. It takes a lot of practice, but it's really worth it because it's really cool. Last thing I want to share with you, as I said, there's a lot to cover in this video. I'll probably do another one eventually, part 2 to this. But basically, things to remember: play in time with your tremolo or your whammy bar, whatever you're going to call it. Use it just like your pick. Think of it that way. It's an extension. It's a way to play. Last technique I call the sustaining bar technique. I can make that go forever, but I'm running out of time. So, leave in the comments if you know anybody else who uses that technique that does it. I'm banging the bar back and forth to make the noise. And leave in the comments if you know anybody that does, because I think I'm the first one to do it. I don't know. But, and if you're going to use it and nobody else has, make sure you tell them. Aaron J. Moss. Sustaining bar technique. Alright. Have fun. Rock on. If this video has been helpful, like it, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, tell me what you think and what you'd like to see in future videos. Have fun and rock on.